64,000 is the median number of words per book. Average person reads about 200 words per minute. Simple math will tell us that is one book in 320 minutes. To accomplish this in 7 days, numbers say you would have to read for 45 minutes a day. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit that notification button, like, comment, and share. Enjoy.
Hello, and happy day. How does slowing down sound to you today? Would you like to reduce the noise for just a bit? Are you ready to make a choice and decide to listen? My name is Igor, SF Walker. I'm here to remind people to slow down, to reduce the noise, to walk their lives into a natural flow. Welcome back to the Book of the Week series. Every week as I read another amazing title, I share it with the world. And today we look at the wisdom codes, ancient words to rewire our brains and heal our hearts, by Gregg Braden. In this video, I will talk about the importance of words throughout the ages and throughout the cultures all around the world, discovering their power and how their conscious use affects our brain and biochemistry inside of us. We will discover what these wisdom codes and power codes are and how they can help us in dealing with most challenging things in life: protection, fear, loss, strength, and love. There are 15 codes in total, so stick around until the end and learn about a free test in my Master of Life Awareness program as well. The implications of the word-life relationship are profound. It appears that the language we use, the words we choose to describe ourselves and to share our thoughts, feelings, emotions, and beliefs, actually forms the framework for the unity or separation that we do experience when we think and when we solve the problems of everyday life. All we may have is ourselves. And ultimately, that's all we need. Once I understood this simple truth, it made perfect sense that we already have the power to rewire our brains on demand, and in doing so, to choose to self-regulate the way we respond to life's extremes. When we speak the words, either out loud or silently to ourselves, something shifts within us. And that something is where the power of words, chemistry, and neurons converge in a beautiful way. We associate the words of the codes with the meaning we give to the words. This association directs our brain cells, our neurons, to connect in a precise way that harmonizes our biology with the energy of our emotions. Chemically, we're no longer the same person we were only moments or hours before. And it's that difference that opens the door to new ways of thinking, feeling, and acting when it comes to our losses, fears, and betrayals. The words of our everyday language directly influence the way our brain wires itself when it comes to how we think and even what we are capable of thinking about. In the recent book, Words Can Change Your Brain, physician Andrew Newberg, MD, and co-author Mark Waldman echo Worf's ideas and tell us precisely what the word-brain connection means. They describe this connection clearly, stating a single word has the power to influence the expression of genes that regulate physical and emotional stress. Our words influence the chemistry in our bodies, the neurons in our brains, and the way our neurons connect and fire to determine how we think of ourselves and solve our problems, and what we are even capable of thinking about. While we commonly think of anger, jealousy, and criticism as separate issues to be dealt with one by one, each ultimately points to the same core issue: unresolved fear. By healing, resolving our underlying fear, we dismantle the need for safety and the reasons why varied expressions of the same fear may be showing up in our lives. Core issues that challenge us most in life: protection, fear, loss, strength, and love. The wisdom code, power code, or parable itself, a direct quote from a text, scripture, or revered teaching from our past. The use of the wisdom code, the intended experience that the code is designed to address, and the source of the wisdom code with the reference for where you can get to read it directly or to discover a greater context for yourself. Wisdom code number 1. He that dwelleth in the sacred place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God. In Him will I trust. Use, protection. This code was created by Prophet Moses as he climbed Mount Sinai to shield him from unknown forces during his ascent. It's become a standard for protection that is used, and its use ranges from the challenges of everyday life to the safety of the entire armies preparing for battle. Source is the Bible, King James's version, Psalms chapter 91, verses 1 to 2. Wisdom code number 2. In the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I take refuge until I attain enlightenment. Use, protection. This code addresses the need for personal protection on a spiritual level for a specific time. Source, it is abbreviated from the traditional Tibetan Buddhist prayer of refuge. Wisdom code number 3. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done, as in heaven, so on earth. Use. This code addresses the need for personal protection on both a physical and a spiritual level. Source. This portion of the Lord's Prayer is translated from the original Syriac dialect of an ancient Aramaic gospel. It is a shortened, standalone version of the longer original prayer that appears in Matthew chapter 6, verses 9 through 13, and a brief version in Luke chapter 11, verses 2 to 4. The same general structure, composed of 3 simple functions. These are the parts of the universal template: a declaration statement, a function statement, a completion or a resolution statement from the software that sends humans into space and brings them safely home, again, to the programs that distribute electricity across the power grids of the world. The same universal structure applies: declaration, function, completion, or resolution. Wisdom code number 4. Brahma, the manifestation of spiritual energy, destroyer of suffering, embodiment of happiness, bright like sun, destroyer of sins, divine intellect who may inspire. Use. This mantra, which is known as the Gayatri mantra, addresses personal protection as well as the need to clear personal obstacles. Source is the Rig Veda, Mandala Book 3, Hymn 62, verse 10. Wisdom code number 5. The soul is not born, nor does it die. It did not spring from something, and nothing sprang from it. It is unborn, eternal, immoral, and ageless. It is not destroyed when the body is destroyed. Use. This code addresses the certainty and universal fear that we cease to exist after death. Source. The Kathopanishad, sometimes known as the Katha Upanishad, one of the primary texts of the ancient Hindu Vedas. Chapter 1, Section 2, verses 18 through 2050. Wisdom code number 6. There is no seed of a god which has perished, neither has he who belongs to him. You will not perish. Who belongs to him? Use. This code addresses the universal human fear of annihilation and the primal fear of non-existence. Source, the Unas Pyramids text. Utterance, 213, verses 145. Wisdom code number 7. The soul is never created, nor does it ever die. The soul is without birth, eternal, immortal, and ageless. It is not destroyed when the body is destroyed. Use. This code addresses the universal human fear of annihilation and the primal fear of non-existence. Source, Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verses 20. Wisdom code number 8. One day, your body will return to the earthly mother, even also your ears and your eyes. But the holy stream of life, the holy stream of sound, and the holy stream of light, these were never born and can never die. Use. This code addresses the primal fear of non-existence and our relationships to our greater presence. Source, the SM Gospel of Peace. In our culture, we're expected to just go with the flow and embrace the transformation. The truth is, however, that we need time to adjust. We need time to acclimate to the void. And the loss of familiar things leaves in our lives and in our hearts. We have two powerful paths. One path, we deny our grief. In our denial, we attempt to live each day as we are the same person, living in the same world we did before we lost our loved one. Well, the second path, we accept our grief. And in our acceptance, we open the door to the healing that grief brings to our doorstep. It is in our willingness to accept our loss that we heal. Wisdom code number 9. The impermanence of this floating world, I feel over and over. It is hardest to be one left behind. Use. This code reminds us that even in the knowledge that all things are temporary, enduring a loss of a loved one is still one of the hardest things we will face. Source, Otagaki Rengetsu, renowned Buddhist nun. Wisdom code number 10. You can only lose what you cling to. Use. This code reminds us that our suffering in times of loss is a result of our attachment to what is impermanent. Source, a widely used colloquial summary of the Buddhist principle of non-attachment. Our experience of loss comes from our perception of life, surroundings, and relationships within the context of that change. When we feel that we have lost someone or something, it is less about their disappearance in the world and more about our perception of their disappearance. Wisdom code number 11. Lead me from the unreal to the real. Lead me from the darkness to the light. Lead me from death to immortality. Let there be peace, peace, peace. Use. This code is a form of a chant or a mantra designed to help us in time of loss and mourning. Source, Brihavaryanka Upanishad. Regardless of our life's challenges, we always have the power to choose how we respond to what life brings to our doorstep, and it is the power of our choices that are source of our inner strength. Without this power, it is easy to feel stuck, helpless, and trapped in our circumstances. Clearly, our power of choice is a significant characteristic. of our humanness. It is also the key to our highest levels of mastery. Free will, as our capacity to select from the myriad of possibilities that do exist in a given situation, and to then implement what we have chosen. Wisdom code number 12. The beauty that you live with, the beauty that you live by, the beauty upon which you base your life. Use. This code reminds us that beauty exists in all things. Our job is to find the beauty in the experiences of life. Source, an informal version of an ancient Navajo prayer. Wisdom code number 13. Om Namah Shivaya. This code is a traditional Hindu mantra that awakens our self-confidence to find strength and to find purpose in life. Source, the Ayurveda, Vedic texts. Wisdom code number 14. The Lord is my shepherd. I lack nothing. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. He refreshes my soul. He guides me along the right paths for his name's sake. Use. The word of this powerful psalm have endured through centuries as a source of strength and comfort in times of loss, grief, and need. Source is the Bible, the New International Version, Psalm 23. Your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you have built against it. Forgiveness doesn't excuse what another person has done. It doesn't mean that you need to tell another person that he or she is forgiven. It doesn't mean that you should forget what has happened or should not continue to have strong feelings about a violation of trust or a physical or an emotional boundary. And perhaps most importantly, forgiveness isn't for the person that you are forgiving. It is for you. Forgiveness is an act of love that you perform for yourself. Wisdom code number 15. If you can bring forth what is within you, what you bring forth will save you. If you do not bring forth what is within you, what you do not bring forth will destroy you. Use. A reminder that we harbor a force within us whose expression has the power to heal us, yet whose repression has the power to destroy us. Source, the Gospel of Thomas, discovered in its complete form as part of Egypt's Nag Hammadi library in 1945. Power code number 1, I will. Use. This ancient code affirms to our body and declares to the universe that we are empowered to choose an outcome. Source, the Bible, King James's Version, Book of Matthew, chapter 8, verses 2 to 3. And power code number 2, I am. Use. The ancient code claims the truth of that moment. Source, the Bible, Book of Exodus, chapter 3, verses 14. And there you have it. Please, do help out. It is easy. Simply like this video so more people can enjoy it. Share it too and spread the word. Leave a comment and share your thoughts. Subscribe to my channel and stay up to date. And the link to this book is in the description below. So buy it and read. Never stop learning, especially learning about yourself and nature. So, gift yourself by taking the free human needs test on my website and find out what actually motivates you. What innate human need is driving all of your decisions and your behavior. And if you feel you are ready to improve your self-awareness, your social awareness, self-management, and relationship management even further, do check out my Master of Life Awareness program. Links are in the description below. Thank you. Love and respect.